Hi, I'm Elizabeth Taylor and I'm a realtor in the Jacksonville area, and some of you have asked me some questions on Instagram about real estate, so I want to answer those questions for you now. So just taking a look. Someone wants to know about advice for first-time home buying. What advice would I would offer? I'd first of all say you need to look at your expectations. You are not going to get your dream home. If you are a first-time home buyer, it's just unrealistic in most situations to think that you're going to get your dream home. But what is important in this market is to get in this market. So find something that you feel comfortable with as far as a monthly payment. It is not going to be, like I stated, your dream home, but it will help you start building equity so that in the very near future you can trade up to get closer to that dream home. So that would be my advice, to set your expectations for something that's going to appreciate, which most real estate does, and something that's a comfortable payment for you, more so than something that you absolutely love. And another question that you asked is, what would you ask a home inspector? So first of all, I think it's great that you're thinking along the lines of home inspection, because certainly want to do that with every property that you purchase, even new construction. I highly recommend you have an independent inspector take a look at new construction. So your realtor is going to help you in terms of recommend qualified inspectors, which is great. You're definitely going to want to hear from them with regard to that. As far as questions, you're going to look at the major systems, and there are 4 of them: the roof, the HVAC system, that's your air conditioning and heating, and we all know in Florida how important air conditioning is, plumbing and electrical. So those are the things that you really want your inspector to concentrate on. The inspector is going to find all the cosmetic stuff. You know, if there's a bump on the wall, there's a crack in the floor, as long as those things are small, those are cosmetic. What you're going to be looking for are the big things. So you're going to ask your inspector, questions, follow-up questions with regard to those 4 systems, as well as also any kind of foundation. Especially if the house is built off grade, you want to check on the foundation as well. So those are good system things to focus in on with your home inspector. Okay, so another question that you asked is, what happens if the appraisal comes in lower than the offer? So great question. So by the time that the appraisal is ordered and comes in, you're already under contract at a specific purchase price. And if that purchase price is higher than the appraisal, there is a problem for sure. Lenders, of course, are gonna need to make up that gap in some way. So you have a couple of different options. One is we can work with the seller to see if perhaps, we could work on the price a little bit to make the price be the equivalent for the appraisal. Also, in certain situations, it might make sense for a buyer to come to the table and make up the price difference between the appraisal and the purchase price. But again, the first step would be to try to work with the seller to renegotiate, to find something that works for both parties. So what's the craziest thing you've seen while showing the house? Okay, this is actually a true story, so I won't name names or houses, and it's not anything, too confidential. So I actually lost a house, put in multiple offers, and I know probably as a realtor it's not great for me to admit that I lost a house, but the reason that I lost a multiple offer situation was because there was a pig on property. It was a multi-million-dollar home on the river, and there was a pig on this particular property, and apparently the owner was very close to said pig. My buyers were out of town. I had done a virtual tour of the home because there were multiple offers. There wasn't enough time for me to get to the house because this was a last minute kind of situation. So anyway, I didn't know that there was a pig on property. The people who actually were chosen for this particular offer had made an agreement with the owner that they would keep said pig and take very good care of it. I'm just going to say I'm from South Carolina, and my customers like pig. So even if we would have known about the pig, our idea of taking care of that precious little pig might have been a little bit different than that seller's idea of taking care of the pig. So not going to lie, like a good piece of bacon for sure. Okay, so I love this one. Someone has asked me the biggest misconception about being a realtor. So of course everyone watches HGTV and they watch realtors, open doors and show lovely properties. And I think that's the greatest misconception, that being a realtor is all about opening the door. There is so much behind the scenes work that has to be done. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of paperwork as well. And that, I say unfortunately, it is good because the purpose is to always look for ways to make sure that everything is clearly communicated so that there is no misunderstandings. But I would say the greatest misconception is that you just pull up at houses and open doors and people magically want to buy these houses. I think that is it's an HGTV thing. It's not reality at all. Great question. This one is one of my favorites. Should I get pre-approved for my mortgage before I start looking for a house? If you want to buy a house, the answer to that question is definitely yes. And any realtor that's working with you is going to ask that question because when you do find that right property, you're going to want to be ready to go. There may be somebody else who is interested in that property as well, and you don't want to delay by having to go through the pre-approval process. So first of all, let me say this, lenders are your friend. Most of them that I know and work with are super professional. They're not going to stalk you. If you call them, they're not going to continue to call you or, follow you on social media. They're here to help. So most lenders, and I of course recommend several lenders that I work with frequently, they're going to let you know what purchase price is going to have a monthly payment amount that's going to feel comfortable for you. So it's great insight. You may think, hey, I'm looking for a $500,000 house, when in reality a payment for a house at $450,000 may feel much more comfortable because you're going to be pre-approved for a lot more than perhaps you want to spend. So definitely getting that pre-approval and getting ready to go before you start house shopping is the way to go. Okay, so another question. What's the market like right now? I get this question all the time, and I could give you tons of numbers in terms of, year over year, we're doing pretty well in terms of 2023 compared to 2024. Typically, real estate appreciates about 4%, where 5% is unheard of. Now, we did have unprecedented times right after COVID of 20%, which is completely unsustainable. But to answer your question, here are my thoughts on the market right now. It's a great market. It's getting a little bit more balanced. It's still certainly a seller's market. That's based on how much inventory is available to you. So supply and demand, basic economics. I would say that the most challenging thing is prices haven't necessarily dropped, even though mortgage rates have gone up. They're down right now, which is great. So if you're buying, you have a set of criteria that perhaps is a little bit different than what it was during COVID times and right after COVID. I always felt like people were buying a mortgage rate then and it happened to have a house attached to it. And now people are truly buying property and they're evaluating, they're wanting the bedroom to be just the right size. They're wanting the kitchen sink to look a certain way. So I think that there is a little bit more shopping that's going on in the market right now than what we've seen in the past, which is increasing our days on market for sure. Okay. So if you're interested in buying or selling, I'd love to work with you. So my contact information is below. Of course, I'm in the Northeast Florida area, but also have a network of realtors throughout the nation, as well as international, have a favorite in London. So just reach out.